The Patriarca family, a legacy of crime in New England. The Patriarca crime family, often referred to as the New England Mafia, is one of the most powerful and notorious criminal organizations in the United States. With a history steeped in blackmail, extortion, drug trafficking, and murder, the family's influence has stretched from its roots in Providence, Rhode Island, to the far reaches of New England. This is the story of how the Patriarca family rose to power, maintained their dominance, and became synonymous with organized crime in the region. Early beginnings. The origins of the Patriarca crime family can be traced back to the early 20th century when Italian immigrants settled in New England. These immigrants brought with them the traditions and practices of the Sicilian Mafia, which would soon take root in their new homeland. The family's namesake, Raymond Loretta Salvatore Patriarca, was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, on March 17, 1908. As a young man, Patriarca quickly became involved in the criminal underworld, engaging in bootlegging, gambling, and other illicit activities. Patriarca's rise to power began in the 1930s when he established himself as a formidable figure in Providence. By the 1950s, he had consolidated his power and became the undisputed boss of the New England Mafia. His leadership was marked by a combination of ruthless violence and strategic alliances, which allowed the family to expand its influence across New England. Blackmail and extortion. One of the key methods used by the Patriarca family to maintain control and generate income was blackmail and extortion. These tactics were used to intimidate and manipulate both individuals and businesses. The family's enforcers, known for their brutality, would threaten violence or expose damaging information to coerce their victims into compliance. In the 1960s, the Patriarca family was implicated in a series of high-profile extortion cases. One such case involved the extortion of local businesses, where family members demanded protection money in exchange for safeguarding the establishments from vandalism or violence. Those who refused to pay often found their businesses vandalized or worse, demonstrating the severe consequences of defying the mafia. Drug trafficking. As the demand for narcotics increased in the latter half of the 20th century, the Patriarca family saw an opportunity to expand their criminal enterprises into drug trafficking. They established connections with international drug cartels, allowing them to import and distribute large quantities of narcotics throughout New England. This venture proved to be highly profitable and further cemented the family's dominance in the criminal underworld. The family's involvement in drug trafficking was not without consequences. In the 1980s, law enforcement agencies began to crack down on the Patriarca family's drug operations. A series of high-profile arrests and prosecutions resulted in significant disruptions to their drug trafficking activities. However, the family's resilience and adaptability allowed them to weather these challenges and continue their criminal enterprises. Murder and violence. Murder and violence have always been integral components of the Patriarca family's operations. From settling disputes to eliminating rivals, the family used violence as a tool to maintain their power and control. Throughout their history, the Patriarca family was involved in numerous murders, many of which were ordered or carried out by Raymond Patriarca himself. One of the most notorious murders associated with the Patriarca family was the killing of Rudolph "Rudy" Marfeo and Anthony Melee in 1968. Marfeo and Melee were considered threats to the family's control over illegal gambling operations in Rhode Island. Under Patriarca's orders, they were brutally murdered, sending a clear message to anyone who dared to challenge the family's authority. Violence was not limited to rival criminals. The family also targeted those within their own ranks who were suspected of disloyalty or betrayal. Informants and potential witnesses were often eliminated to prevent them from cooperating with law enforcement. This culture of fear and intimidation helped to ensure loyalty and silence among the family's members and associates. The downfall and legacy. The Patriarca family's reign of terror began to wane in the late 20th century as law enforcement agencies intensified their efforts to dismantle organized crime. The use of wiretaps, undercover operations, and informants provided crucial evidence that led to the arrest and prosecution of key family members. In 1989, Raymond Patriarca Jr., who had taken over the family's leadership following his father's death in 1984, was arrested and charged with racketeering, extortion, and other crimes. His conviction dealt a significant blow to the family's operations and marked the beginning of their decline. Despite these setbacks, the Patriarca family's legacy endures. Their story is a testament to the enduring allure and danger of organized crime. The family's influence can still be felt in New England, where their criminal activities have left a lasting impact on the region's history and culture. Raymond L.S. Patriarca, the architect of New England's underworld. Raymond Loreda Salvatore. Patriarca, often referred to as Il Patrone, the boss, was the architect behind the New England Mafia's rise to power. His leadership, which spanned several decades, was characterized by a blend of strategic acumen, ruthless enforcement, and a deep understanding of the criminal landscape. Patriarca's ability to forge alliances with other mafia families, such as the Genovese and Gambino families in New York, allowed him to strengthen his position and expand his influence. These alliances facilitated the sharing of resources and intelligence, making the New England Mafia a formidable force in the American underworld. Under Patriarca's leadership, the family diversified their criminal enterprises, delving into labor racketeering, loan sharking, and illegal gambling. Patriarca's control over the labor unions gave him significant power, allowing him to manipulate labor disputes and extort businesses. The Patriarca family's criminal enterprises. The Patriarca family's criminal activities were diverse and extensive. In addition to blackmail, extortion, drug trafficking, and murder, the family was involved in various other illegal enterprises that generated substantial income and reinforced their power. Illegal gambling. Illegal gambling was one of the family's primary sources of income. The Patriarca family controlled numerous illegal gambling operations, including bookmaking, numbers rackets, and underground casinos. These operations were highly profitable and allowed the family to launder money and finance other criminal ventures. The family's control over illegal gambling was enforced through a combination of bribery and violence. Law enforcement officials were often paid off to turn a blind eye to the family's activities, while those who posed a threat were dealt with through intimidation or murder. Labor racketeering. Labor racketeering was another significant aspect of the Patriarca family's criminal enterprises. By infiltrating and controlling labor unions, the family was able to manipulate labor disputes, secure lucrative contracts, and extort businesses. This control also provided the family with a steady stream of income from union dues and other illicit payments. One of the most notable examples of the family's involvement in labor racketeering was their control over the Laborers' International Union of North America, LIUNA. Through a combination of bribery and intimidation, the family ensured that their interests were represented in union negotiations and decision-making processes. Loan sharking, or the practice of lending money at exorbitant interest rates, was another profitable venture for the Patriarca family. They provided loans to individuals and businesses who were unable to secure financing through legitimate means, charging interest rates that often exceeded 100% annually. Those who failed to repay their loans faced severe consequences, including violence and intimidation. The family's enforcers were known for their brutality, ensuring that debts were collected and serving as a deterrent to potential defaulters. Law enforcement and the Patriarca family. Law enforcement agencies faced significant challenges in their efforts to dismantle the Patriarca family. The family's extensive network of informants, bribed officials, and loyal associates made it difficult to gather evidence and secure convictions. However, several key events and operations marked turning points in the fight against the New England Mafia. The FBI's war on organized crime. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, played a crucial role in the efforts to dismantle the Patriarca family. Under the leadership of J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI launched a comprehensive campaign against organized crime, employing advanced surveillance techniques and undercover operations. One of the most significant breakthroughs came in the form of wiretaps and hidden microphones. These surveillance tools provided law enforcement with valuable evidence of the family's criminal activities, leading to the arrest and prosecution of numerous family members and associates. The RICO Act. The Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations, RICO Act, enacted in 1970, was a powerful tool in the fight against the Patriarca family and other organized crime groups. The RICO Act allowed prosecutors to target entire criminal organizations rather than just individual members, making it easier to secure convictions and dismantle the family's operations. Under the RICO Act, prosecutors were able to charge Raymond Patriarca Jr. and other family members with racketeering, extortion, and other crimes. These convictions dealt a significant blow to the family's operations and marked the beginning of their decline. Operation Donnie Brasco. Operation Donnie Brasco was an undercover operation conducted by the FBI in the late 1970s and early 1980s. FBI agent Joseph Pistone, under the alias Donnie Brasco, infiltrated the Bonanno crime family in New York. His undercover work provided valuable intelligence on the operations of the Mafia, including their connections with the Patriarca family. Pistone's work led to the arrest and prosecution of numerous Mafia members, including those with ties to the Patriarca family. The operation exposed the inner workings of the Mafia and provided law enforcement with crucial insights into their operations. The decline and legacy of the Patriarca family. The decline of the Patriarca family can be attributed to a combination of law enforcement efforts, internal strife,